Start first with the NBA. So I'm going to spare you, Chowd, half fam. I'll get to you later on. Well. Look who's back. Maybe he never left. And here he is, the king. The self-proclaimed petty king. The undisputed king of the three ball. The four-time champ. The two-time MVP. The reigning finals MVP. The all-time great. At least as it relates to shooting the ball.
Hey,
one of the
Jim
all-time
Rome.
greats, period. This guy.
Hey, Jim Rome.
Hey, Steph Curry.
Hey, Jim Rome.
Yo, what up, Steph?
Hey, Jim Rome.
Hey, Steph Curry.
Hey, Jim Rome.
I know you just did it yesterday, but why don't you remind everybody just one more time what kind of a game NBA basketball is, Steph Curry?
Man's game.
Damn right, Steph. It's a man's game, isn't it?
Man's game.
It's a man's game. And my dude proved it once again. Very few have exemplified the man's game like that dude, Steph. Hey, Steph Curry.
Hey, Jim Rome.
And he's still doing it at age 35. 35! And in terms of who he is and what he does, nobody does what this dude does. Nobody ever has. Nobody ever will. I don't know why anybody needs reminding about Steph or his absolutely legendary game, but he just keeps going out of his way and reminding everybody nonetheless. There have been a ton of epic Steph Curry performances, especially in the postseason, too many to count. However, yesterday may in fact have been my dude's masterpiece, his magnum opus, a 50-burger, 50 in a Game 7 on the road in a hostile and delirious barn at 35. It's the most points ever scored in a Game 7. Any Game 7 by any player at any age ever. And my dude just did it in that Game 7 at age 35. And he did it to bury the Beam team alive in their own house, right under their own giant purple laser beam. And then after he got done burying the Beam team in their own house, right under that giant purple laser beam on the roof, the petty king told them to light that beam. I mean, hilarious stuff. Although I don't think they thought so, but I did. And he told them they're not ready for this bleep. And listen, while the Sacramento Kings are so far ahead of schedule, the petty king is not wrong. They weren't ready for his bleep. And him telling them to light that beam is hilarious. And all you Kings fans that were so pissed when the big head, James Kelly, and I said that we both bet the Warriors after they dropped the first two games of the series. To all of you Kings fans that were coming for both the big head and I, we both accept your apology. No harm, no foul. And for those of you who jumped in and did what the big head and I did, then you're welcome.
You're welcome.
As for Steph, he wasn't just sensational last night. He was completely and totally savage as well. He ripped out Sacktown's heart. He showed it to them right in the middle of their own house. Hey, remember when the Dubs were in fact down 2-0 in this series? And remember when that was the first time they had ever been down 2-0 in a series, at least as it relates to Steph and Clay and Draymond. And remember how that was supposed to be the very end of the dynasty. Break it all up. Goodbye, Dre. Goodbye, Bob Myers. Goodbye, everybody. You remember all that? Neither do I. Neither does Steph. Neither does Kings fan. All Steph remembers is the sight of the ball going through the hoop and the sight of miserable Kings fans having their souls snatched right out their bodies. So yes, I would say that I agree with Klay Thompson's post-game analysis when he was asked about Steph and what Steph did yesterday. But that's an amazing thing for Klay Thompson to say, right? Quote, this is a Game 7 I will forever remember as the Steph Curry game. We're talking about a couple of dudes who've been a part of a dynasty, one of the great dynasties. They've had some amazing games. Even this far down the road, Klay is saying, wow. I mean, like, damn. This is the Game 7 I will always remember as the Steph Curry game. Incredible. But then again, he's not wrong, right? I mean, no kidding. Nobody's going to call that the Harrison Barnes game, that's for sure. Or the Domantas Sabonis game, that's for sure. Or even the De'Aaron Fox game, or the Kevin Huerter game, or the Malik Monk game. Look, I'm not here to pile on the Kings. Once again, amazing season. They are so far ahead of schedule. They finally got over that playoff hump. They had the champs on the ropes. Their future is bright. They fought to the bitter end. But that ending was about as bitter and as brutal and as heartbreaking and devastating as it gets. Am I right, perv?
That was devastating. Heartbreaking.
My bad. Devastating and heartbreaking. Not heartbreaking and devastating. Either way, it sucked.
Devastating. Heartbreaking.
Hey, I meant to get to it last week. Did you see where Perv said, "Oh, I'm never going to coach ever again"? That's funny. Anybody who believes that is going to be devastated or heartbroken.
That's devastating.
Anyway, Sacktown, when they forced a Game 7, and when they got that thing back to their crib, they were ready for the biggest party ever, after they won Game 6 and forced that Game 7. They were ready to light that beam for one of the biggest wins in the history of that franchise. They were ready to get over on Big Brother. After all, Big Brother was gassed. Monk never actually said they were old. He said that the Kings were younger and implied that they had fresher legs, they'd bounce back more quickly, and that it would be tough for Golden State because they're, not as young. Except Team Petty ran with that. Draymond said it point blank. He said we were old. He actually never said that, but it doesn't matter. You hear what you want to hear. And they used it to their advantage. But Sacramento Kings fan was ready for the biggest party ever. They didn't haul all their old cowbells over to the arena just to see that thing go up in flames. But then again, Steph went Steph, and he burned that entire place right to the ground. The thing about that Game 7 performance is it actually started long before the Dubs even got on the bus to make that drive back out to Sacktown. When Steph never, ever wanted to give speeches. Never. He's just not that dude. Now, when you see him in post-game interviews, he's always extremely thoughtful, extremely bright, and extremely meticulous. But he's not a speech guy. He's not that guy. That's pretty awesome that Steph got up there and said, we're not going out like that. We were ass. We're not going out. So he does the speech. We're not going out like that. Does anybody else have anything to say? And Draymond says, nah, we're good, champ. Enough said. And it's true. There was no way Steph Curry was going out like that. No way. So instead, he shows up for Game 7 and brings one of his, if not his, single all-time greatest playoff performance. Hell, one of the all-time greatest playoff performance in the history of the league. Again, nobody had ever scored 50 in a Game 7. So what this guy just did, age 35, is almost unimaginable. Now, what I'm not going to do is sit here today and argue about whether he's better than LeBron or who's where on the top 10 list of all-time greats, because this show is a hell of a lot better than that. This show is not as lazy as that. We're not doing that. But I know this. Steph is on that list. Steph is in the top 10. Steph is not only is he top 10, he's not number 10. And he still may be climbing. And he might have hopped up another spot on the strength of last night alone. And if he beats LeCap in the next round, he may climb another rung or two on that top 10 ladder. Because at this point, I don't know who can stop this guy. And I'm with Steph. I hope we never find out.
Who can stop Steph Curry?
Hopefully we'll never find out.
Right? Hopefully we'll never find out. I'm not sure who can stop this guy. I'm not seeing any slippage at all at 35. But I do know. I don't know who can stop him, but I do know LeBron got next. And even at their advanced ages, this is pretty unbelievable. And going into the series, it's damn near a toss-up. Who you got? Who you got? It's going to be epic. But I would be hard-pressed to think that it can be any more epic than the self-proclaimed petty king, dropping 50 in Game 7 on the road. How do you beat that? The day Steph reminded everybody once again, I was going to say once and for all, but I don't think so. I don't know that he's got that in him again, but who's to say he doesn't? Either way, he reminded everybody that more than anything else, it is in fact, altogether now, a man's game.
Man's game.
And the day Steph dropped the hammer on the beam. I mean, honestly, Kings fan, right now, it feels like Steph ended the beam. R.I.P. B. R.I.P. Beam. All good things come to an end. That nice beam. Put it on the sidewalk. Hang a sign around that beam's neck, which reads, if you can haul it, you can have it. It just feels like every time you hit that button going forward, it's not going to remind you of a Kings win, but rather it's going to put a pit and a pain in your stomach. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell to be the first to know when we do upload a new video.